What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another one of my videos. And in this video, we're going over the schedule grid, we're going over notable free agents, and we're going over non-droppables and droppables. So it's a little bit of everything you need to know for this upcoming week, week 6. So first up, we're going to go over the schedule, and there's not too much to say about the schedule, so let's get right into it. COVID's still causing a lot of postponed games. It really sucks, really taking a lot of fun out of the games. From my perspective, likely yours as well. Luckily, in my league, we have 5 IR slots, so it does help a little bit. But still, when you miss all these games, it just sucks. It just really sucks when you want to watch a player and you can't because of COVID. But in any case, there are 10 teams that play 3 times this week, and that includes Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Houston, Memphis, Milwaukee, New York Knicks, Oklahoma City, Phoenix, and Portland. The rest of the teams, 20 of them, play 4 times this week. So again, just like last week, it's another lopsided schedule this week, as Monday has 11 games, Wednesday has 13 games, and Friday has 10 games, and are all likely to be full rosters, or at the very least close to full rosters. Only 3 games are on Tuesday and only 4 are on Thursday. So again, just like last week it was 2 games on Tuesday, 3 games on Thursday. Now it's 3 games on Tuesday, 4 on Thursday. And it's going to create a lopsided schedule. It's going to create days where, like last week, I had no one playing for two days on Tuesday and Thursday. I had to go pick up a guy just to have someone to play that day. It's not fun when you're very enthusiastic about fantasy basketball, when you want to see games almost every day. It was a nice break, but still, I'm still, the season's young. You don't want that break yet. So I will say Monday has 1 postponed game already listed that I did not list above. So Monday has 11 games, but since 1 is postponed, it's down to 10 games now. So Monday and Friday are now the same. They're both at 10 games. The reason I didn't mark it down is because originally it was at 11 games, and I want to make a point that these schedules are lopsided still. So moving on, Saturday has 8 games and Sunday has 6 games, and it would have been great for a great opportunity to have some back-to-backs on the weekend, as it would have been a great double-down free agent time. There's no back-to-backs this weekend. Again, second weekend in a row. Really sucks. And as a matter of fact, only the Clippers have the only back-to-back that you should be focusing on for a double down this week, and that's on Thursday to Friday. The rest of the back-to-backs come on Tuesday to Wednesday or Wednesday to Thursday. Wednesday, again, has 13 games, so odds are you're already full, so there's no point in talking about going back-to-back, going for a double down, unless you're trying to do a double down for Tuesday and Thursday, which I didn't do. All right, so let's move on to the free agents I have for this upcoming week. So these are free agents below 55% rostered on ESPN leagues. So we have Dragic, Josh Richardson, he's coming back soon. So what I like to do is I like to pick up someone when I think they're about to come back. So this even works if you have no IR slots. Worst case scenario, you lose a pickup for the week, and I know a lot of leagues have up to 7, so it's not that big of a deal. My league only has 4 pickups per week, and I still do it. So again, Josh Richardson should be coming back any game now. So just keep an eye out or pick him up now, because if it's not this week, it's definitely going to be next week, and that's not going to help. It's not going to hurt you immensely to hold on to someone who's not playing for 1 week, unless you're 0-4 or 0-5, 1-4. Maybe 2-3 if your team's really hurting on injuries, then you don't do it. But if you're 3-2 and better and barely have any injuries, then you probably do it. Next up, we have DeMarcus Cousins. He's at 48%. You wanna lock him in on your roster until Wood is able to come back. Next up on the list is Gallinari at 44%. Now Gallinari, he just came back, and his time's only, I think he had 15 his first game and like 20 his second game. It's going to go up, guys. He's going to be a great player to have down the line. So it's a great return on your investment. Now, I picked him up before he came back, stashed him on my IR. He's still on my IR. He's going to get removed after today. But nonetheless, a great player to take a chance on. That's why he was drafted in the mid-rounds. Next up, we have Kevin Huerter. at 43%, and you gotta pick him up. If you don't, he's getting a lot of minutes. We're gonna talk about that later in the video, but mainly he's good to pick up right now. Next up is Alec Burks, another player I'm going to be talking about later, but basically you should pick him up. Definitely pick him up. He was on a tear earlier on the season, and there's no reason why he won't do that again. Next up, I have Cole Anthony, still only rostered in 23% of leagues. Listen, guys, I know his field goal percentage sucks. It hurts. But if you have players, like I have Trae Young on my team, I have D'Lo on my team, field goal percentage isn't a big deal to me. So Cole Anthony's 10 to 12 shots a game aren't going to drastically change anything for me overall. And Cole Anthony has actually had one block in his past 4 games. So he's someone worth rostering. I'm still surprised he's only at 23% because his minutes are just going up. So he's going to get about 32 minutes a game. And he's just going to improve. He's a rookie. He's going to improve along the season. Next up, I have Jay Crowder. So he started for Booker this past game. Booker hurt his hamstring. He's only rostered in 21% of leagues, and I would hold on to him, play him as a streamer option until Booker comes back. Next up, I have is Justin Holiday at 18%. We all know LeVert's out for a while. Regardless of Holiday's numbers, he should be picked up. He's averaging a lot of minutes. His numbers have not been fantastic so far, or even that great, but still worth having just for the minutes. Hopefully, if you do have him, he'll break out for you guys. All right, next up what I have is Cameron Johnson at 14%. I have him because Booker didn't play in the last game, and if this is an ongoing thing where Booker is going to miss some time, Johnson's going to get some minutes, just like Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder started, got extra minutes. Cameron Johnson will likely come off the bench. I think he actually started, but likelihood he's going to come off the bench, but he's still going to produce. And the last player I have in standard leagues is Quickly. Everyone's been talking about him. He's only rostered in 9% of leagues. Someone worth taking a chance on, even if he hasn't overtaken the point guard position, the starting point guard role over from Peyton yet. Doesn't mean he won't in the coming weeks, and a lot of people are foreshadowing that. So if you believe that can happen, if you're in just a great position, if you're undefeated this season, or you're 4-1, and your team's just killing it, and you can afford to have someone who can give you a major return on your investment, Quickly is the perfect guy to go after this week and just see how it goes, even if you can hold on to him for 2 or 3 weeks. All right, so for deeper leagues, I know I put for below 25% roster in ESPN, but these are just more so. That is the case, but it's also more so for just deeper leagues. So the first up I have is Tomas Satoransky. He just came back from injury. He's only at 8%. He hasn't played much this year, and I expect his minutes to rise in the coming games. Next up, I have Marcus Morris on the Clippers. He's also at 8%. His minutes have been rising, and sooner or later, he's going to get much more consistent in his role. Next up, I have is Alexander Walker, who's only at 7%. I can't remember exactly why I have him on here, but go look at him. If I have him on here, it means he's probably a strong candidate to pick up on your deeper leagues. Next up is Josh Jackson. Now, he was tearing it up in the beginning of the season. He got hurt. He came back. He's been sucking. His last 2 games, he's had a total of 6 blocks. He's had 3 in his last 2 games, in both games. So that's very good. And if he could just break out of his slump, he'll be a great add for anyone who has him. Jayshawn Tate is next up. I have him on the list because I think it might be. I can't remember why I have him on the list, but please just at least take a look at him, guys. Sorry, I can't remember, but it happens. Just take a look at his stats and see if he would be a good addition to your team. Next up, I have is Jalen Brunson, who has been on a tear as of late. He even cracked the starting role. Someone you guys want to look at, maybe even for standard leagues. Like I'm at least looking at him now. He's someone I'm going to focus on. Even if I don't pick him up, it's just nice to see what he's doing, simply because he's been on a tear. And if he can continue with the minutes he's been getting, who's to say he can't continue doing this? Next up is Wayne Ellington. He's been killing it on Detroit. He's been on a tear as well, not just for deeper leagues, but should probably be looked at in standard leagues as well. And last up on the list is Jarrett Vanderbilt, who's only at 3%, which is kind of surprising. He's been getting the starting nod lately with COVID hit Minnesota a little bit. I know Karl-Anthony Towns is out, and then there's someone else I believe is out, and so now Vanderbilt is getting the minutes for that. But once those players come back, his role will diminish. So he's good for a streamer for a week or two, and then you're going to have to get rid of him again. So again, second week in a row, I don't really have any double down free agents this week. Just look at the Clippers for Thursday to Friday. It wasn't really, if that's all I was going to do, there's not really a point. Just look at the Clippers. If you like someone for Thursday, Friday, pick them up. All right, so now I'm going to have this like little public service announcement. So guys, please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, if you found it informative, and make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, as I'm going to be bringing more fantasy basketball content all season long. All right, so next up we have our non-droppables. So first up I have is Draymond Green, who's rostered in 73% of leagues. He's putting up 6.8 assists. That's really nice, but that's all he's giving. If his assists start to dip down, they start to drop, he's droppable, guys. He's not putting up any other number worth having on your team other than if you need assists. Next up I have is Brook Lopez at 60%. He's starting to heat up all around the board, so he's someone to look at, especially if you need a center. Everything's going up. His minutes are going up. His productivity is going up. All around great ad if you can right now. Next up is Danilo Gallinari at 44%. He's coming back from an injury. Gallinari is going to have plenty of opportunities for strong usage rate and minutes as a six-man once fully recovered. Maybe even more depending on how long it takes Bogdanovic to come back. Speaking of, Kevin Huerter is next on my list at 43%. Now he has seen 34, 36, 39, and 41 minutes in his last 4 games. He must be rostered until Bogdanovic comes back. He's seeing a boatload of minutes, and he's producing pretty good numbers. Definitely worth having on your roster for the time being. Next player up is Alec Burks at only 36%. This is one of the players I said I was going to come back to talk about. So he was on a tear before his ankle sprain. No reason why he won't receive the same role and the same opportunities once fully recovered. So I played against him in the first week of the season. I know how much of a pain in the ass he is firsthand. You guys want to pick him up because if he gets back on that tear, he's going to be a force again. All right, guys, so that's it for the non-droppables. Did I miss anyone? Do you guys think I missed anyone? Leave a comment below and let's talk about it. Like, I want to hear about who you guys think should be a non-droppable player that you see a lot of players dropping, but that shouldn't get dropped. I'd like to hear what you guys think in that regard. All right, and last up on the list is the droppables. So first up I have is Dante DiVincenzo. He's rostered in 64% of leagues. Now, although he's hitting 2.4 threes and averaging 1.4 steals per game on the season, he is only averaging 1.8 threes and 0.8 steals over his last 4 games while having an increase in minutes. So he's getting more minutes, but he's becoming less productive. That's not what you want to see. And, on Milwaukee, you have Giannis, you have Drew, you have Middleton. There's just one ball to go around, so there's only so much opportunity Dante's going to get. All right, next up I have is Marvin Bagley, and he's rostered in 53% of leagues. Now, only keep if you need the double-double potential, so meaning if you have double-doubles counted towards your leagues, then he's roster-worthy, or if you just need the extra rebounds. Otherwise, he hurts you in every other category. Only shoots 46% from the field, 54% from free throws, and doesn't do anything defensively. There's no reason to keep him outside of a double-double. So if that's what you guys are doing, if that's why his roster rate is so high, I understand. But if you're not in a double-double league, category league, or if you just need extra rebounds for categories, like if you're in a points league, I don't see the reason on keeping him. You at least try and trade him. But for category leagues, definitely he's droppable, guys. Next up on the list is Lou Williams at 50%. And so he's had inconsistent minutes all season and playing time all season. I know it's kind of like the same thing, but what I mean is basically his usage. Everything about him has been inconsistent this year, and it's resulting in poor performances, poor stats all around. He's droppable, which kind of sucks. Everyone loves having Lou Williams, or like everyone just loves him as a player. At least I do. I know a lot of people do. Next up is DeAndre Jordan at 44%. He hasn't seen an uptick in minutes like we all thought he was going to receive once Jared Allen was traded. It's not the case. They're playing a lot of small ball, and that hasn't been working. So maybe they move back to having Jordan play more minutes. But for right now, if you need to drop someone and you're iffy 50-50 on DeAndre Jordan, I would strongly consider dropping DJ, as his minutes haven't gone up, and there's no reason to believe that they will go up now. All right, so next up is Ricky Rubio, rostered in 44% of leagues. His 5.5 assists and 1.4 steals is simply not enough to warrant a roster spot as more than just a streamer option. He just doesn't bring enough to the table, and he doesn't start. He gets some minutes, but he doesn't produce enough in any other category. So unless you're really, really, really hurting on assists and steals, that's the only way I could see you keeping him. But even then, it shouldn't be enough. There should be someone else on the waiver wire that might be able to get you 3.5 to 4 steals that can put up more productive performances for you. Next up is Anthony Edwards, and outside of Dynasty Leagues, there's no reason to have him rostered on your team. He doesn't do anything. The only thing he does is score. The only thing he does is shoot the ball, and it's not an efficient rate, and it's not a lot of points. There's no reason to have him rostered on any league except the deepest of leagues or Dynasty Leagues. Next up is Kyle Kuzma at 33%. He's too inconsistent and not enough minutes to be considered as anything more than a streamer, unless in very deep leagues. So, like, what I mean by that mainly is when AD gets rest, his minutes will go up. He'll get an uptick in minutes, but it's still, besides then or having players rest, there's no reason to have him rostered unless you're just desperate or a Lakers fan who just is hoping for the best one night. Next up I have is Obi Toppin, who's only at 26%. And he has limited upside for the limited amount of minutes he's been playing. Since he's come back, he's not getting a lot of minutes. I think it's like 12 to 15 a game. And he just can't do much with that kind of playing time. So, again, he's droppable until he gets an uptick in minutes, which I don't see why he would get in the near future. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. Anyway, next up is Darius Baisley. Guys, it was fun while it lasted. Everyone was talking about him. He started the season strong. It was bound to flame out. The flame is finally out. A lot of people are finally getting the hint. They're dropping him. It's time to let go of Baisley. And don't worry, guys. He might put up, he might reignite at some point. Keep an eye on him. There's no harm in that. But for now, he's kind of a wasted roster space spot until he reignites. All right, guys, did I miss anyone on this list? Again, just like the non-droppables, I want to hear back from you guys. Leave a comment on a player that you think I may have missed that you're considering dropping, or that you have dropped that's not on the list that other people are not dropping. I kind of want to hear what you guys are doing. So, because I think I would like to make a full-fledged video on this at some point, but like a much deeper video. So again, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. And remember, make sure you hit the like button if you felt this video was informative, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, as I'm going to be dropping more fantasy basketball content all season long. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.